Now that we have our two formulas for lateral and total surface area, we're going to practice using them. So here I have two prisms and they want me to find the lateral and the total surface area. So just remember those formulas. L equals pH. T for total is going to be, I'm going to say L plus 2B, where capital B is the area of the base. Okay, so before you start just plugging in numbers anywhere, what you need to do is identify what kind of prism am I working with, because the kind of prism is going to tell you what the base is, and depending on what the base is, that's going to have a different formula for its area and a different way to find its perimeter. So here on the left, I've got a rectangular prism. If you want to go ahead and draw in those kind of unseen parts there, you can kind of see it in space. So here my bases are these rectangles. Now the annoying thing about rectangular prisms is you can actually pick any side and sort of turn it on its side and you still have a base, but that's only true for rectangular prisms. I always stick with top and bottom for my bases for rectangular. You can do it another way, but it doesn't really matter. So for lateral, I need to do the perimeter of my base, which is this rectangle down here. That'd be 2, that'd be 3. So the perimeter of the base is going to be 2 and 3 and 2 and 3. So together that makes 4 plus 6 is 10. So that's my perimeter. And then the height of my prism, if I chose this to be my base and this for my base for this rectangular one, the distance between them is going to be 5. So that's just going to be 50 feet squared. We're still looking at area, still have to have square units. Now before I find the total, what I'm going to do is go ahead and write out the area of my base. Area of my base, well, that's a rectangle. That's little base times little height, so that's going to be 2 times 3. And then my total, I'm going to do lateral plus 2 of my base areas. Be 50 added to 2 of those 6's, so you're going to get 62 square feet. Okay, what are we really measuring? Well, think of if this was like a box you were going to wrap with like wrapping paper for somebody for a present. That would be how much wrapping paper that you're going to need. Or if you were going to paint this whole block with something, that would be how much paint you're going to need to cover it. Next one here, I have a different kind of prism, so I need to identify what type. This is going to be a triangular prism. Should have these right angle boxes there. It's a triangular prism because the two faces that are parallel and congruent to each other are triangles. The base isn't always going to be the bottom. For rectangular you can do that, but for any other type you need to identify what two faces are parallel and congruent. So since this is a triangular prism, well, I need to identify, here's one of my bases, here's the other one. So I need to find two things. I need perimeter and I need area. Perimeter, I need to know what this length is. If this is a right triangle and I have the two legs to get the hypotenuse, then I'm going to do 4 squared plus 3 squared, call it x equals x squared. You need to remember that Pythagorean theorem. 16 and 9. So let's see, that's a 25. So the square root of that is a 5. So you had to do a little algebra problem first. Now that we know this is a 5, I'm going to go ahead and write capital P for perimeter of my base. That's 4 plus 3 plus 5. So let's see, that's going to be 12 meters. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and write out the height of my prism. So I want you to go ahead and guess what the height of this prism is going to be. Alright, so if you guessed the 4, I'm sorry, but that is the height of the triangle. The height of the prism is the distance between the bases. So here the height is actually 8, because height isn't always up and down for prisms, it's always how far apart are the bases. So height is 8 meters. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and write the area of my base. Since my base is a triangle, it's 1/2 little base times little height. That's height of my triangle. That's going to be 1/2 of 3 times 4. Okay, so I have all of the parts that I need for both of my area formulas. The lateral is going to be perimeter times prism height. So that's 96 square meters. Now that's kind of difficult to see there. And the total is going to be that 96 plus 2 of those bases. Alright, so that takes care of finding the lateral and total surface area for both those things.